took a 5-minute pause. We will now go on to the budget part of WPRF. Thank you.
Quorum is still here.
Quorum is still present, right? I'm not gonna ask for another quorum because I didn't see anybody leave. Okay, Miss Monica, it's all yours.
Okay, everybody has a new draft of the budget which reflects all of the decisions that the committee made at our meeting last month. Do you want me to go over, anything and everything that I changed, or? how do you
I think
want-
it was just the 4 items that, just to review if there's anybody has, unless anybody has any other questions after the meeting.
Okay, all right. The first change that was made is on page 2 of 8, specifically line 44, which is landscape improvement. Our proposed budget was $18,700. It's been reduced to $17,200. If you want to look at Exhibit B, we can go over specifically what that change was. Exhibit B, line 4. We had Southampton Pool removal of fill in Southstead Hedge and replaced with Felicia at a proposed budget of $3,000. We removed the removal of fill and replaced, so now we're just gonna be filling in with Calusia. Is that correct? Right. So we went from $3,000 to $1,500. So that total line item went from $18,700 to $17,200.
Right, so it's not gonna be that we're gonna be filling in with Clusia because there's a different hedge that's already there. We would just fill in the bare spots that are there with the existing bushes, so that's it.
Okay. The next change is page 3 of 8, line 48, where this is pool area maintenance. We had a proposed total budget of $288,242. That was lowered to $271,242. If you'll flip to Exhibit C real quick, we can go over the 2 line items that were changed. On the first line, we have the Southampton Pool, where we had new fencing and coping replacement and new landscaping. The new landscaping for $20,000 was removed, so the proposed budget went from $91,000 to $71,000. On line 2, we have the Kent Pool, where we're doing the diamond brighting of the pool, installing the 4-foot perimeter line around the pool, and coping replacement. We removed the front hedges to open up the line of sight to the, we removed front hedges to open up line of sight to the pool for $3,000. So the budget went from $83,500 to $86,500. So the total pool area maintenance and repair proposed budget from $288,242 to $271,242.
Monica,
Yes, sir.
if we remove $3,000, how does it, 3,000 get added?
We added $3,000 to remove, for the
remove
cost to
front
remove
hedges.
the front
Okay.
hedges.
Remove front hedges.
All right,
Open up
I
line
got
of
it.
sight to pool 3,000.
Yeah. Okay. Back to the main part of the budget, but don't flip too quick, because we can go to the next exhibit. On page 3 of 8, line 54 is your air conditioning maintenance non-contract. We had a proposed budget of $45,000, and the corrected budget is $54,500. If you look at Exhibit D, my Excel schedule had an error in the formula and had not added the $9,500 on line 4 into the total. So once that formula error was corrected, it's actually $54,500. And Thank you, Ruth, my eagle eye. Yes. Yes, right. Okay, let's see. Okay, if you turn to page 8 of 8, on line 109, you'll see the net of the changes that we made, took your total net operating cost from $64.64 to $64.54. So very minor change. On line 111, the committee voted to add $4 to our windstorm reserve. We were replenishing our windstorm reserve at $4.32 this year, and I didn't know if you were gonna continue that, so I didn't include that in the budget presentation. So the committee voted to add the $4 to the coupon. So that's the only other change there. So that brings our proposed monthly operating coupon from $64.16 on line 116 to $68.06. Less our operating coupon where it is for this current year of $74.78. That is a monthly decrease in your coupon per unit per month of $6.72. And then when we add the contractual rent increase, $2.16, that brings us to a final operating and contractual decrease per unit per month to $4.56. Any questions?
So what's the monthly fee?
432 less, 456.
$4.56, not 56.
456 is the decrease.
456 will be our.
So,
That will be the change in every single unit owner's monthly assessment. for Texas
456
PRF.
decrease, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I'm all for that.
56.
They'll give you 2 cups of coffee.
56.
Maybe.
Well, as they say, it's better than a sharp stick in the eye, right?
Never heard that one.
Very good.
It's always better than an increase.
Yes.
Of course, we had the increase.
Any other questions?
No, great job.
You need a motion on that?
That would be not to accept the,
I motion that we accept the budget
Second.
Second.
as presented.
as presented.
Second.
Sure you can.
Second.
Everybody seconded.
Okay.
Do we need a roll call vote, or?
Discussion?
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to go back to exhibit C and D, line 1. We recently had one of our quarterly meetings at the pool on Saturday. And of course, they asked me about the progress of how things were going and also what the budgeting is. David? Yes, I could do that. You can.
Thank you, John. I still think, and the Southampton pool, the new fencing is not necessary. There's nothing wrong with the fencing. I think it's just a beautification item. And I can produce a document, or not a document, I know that Eva, you said that several people have asked you about this, but I know of close to 30 people from one building that are opposed to having a new fence put up on there.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there also an issue of security, and we gave you a price for 4 foot, but you wanted higher? So there was also an issue of security, and when I said that you could find a video online of an alligator climbing the fence, so can a human, so it,
That is a 6-foot fence there.
yeah, they can still climb it, but I'm just making the point that that was something that was brought up, so it's not just beautification. At
No,
least that's not the impression I got from.
I
the
think what
committee
you
at the
said,
time.
and you may correct me, that the security issue was on the gates that didn't close. I use that pool constantly, and I've never had problems at that gate with having to have the swings adjusted. Now, I don't see every work order,
Yeah,
and it may be more than what I suspect, but I really think that there's nothing wrong with the fencing that is there. And since I'm part of this committee, I'd like to make a motion to eliminate the fencing for $55,000 at the Southampton pool.
John?
May I make a comment? It took 12 years to do Dorchester. They used that money for other things. That's probably what's going to happen to Southampton, is they're going to use that money for other stuff. But I agree with you.
Is that a second?
Yeah.
Something else that wasn't discussed here it was discussed at the last meeting, but what is the situation for removing the one lift at Hastings? Is that still going to happen, and what's the cost for that going to be?
Dan said that would be a
In the next
consideration
following
in
year,
the
next
future.
following year, because
Right.
we'll get the cost, you know, how much it would be to remove, and then, you know, parts that
Okay.
we will get from it and let you know for next year's
All right,
budget.
thank you.
All right, so you made a motion, don't you have to,
John, did you second that?
you did.
Yeah, I'll second it for him, but I don't agree that we should take it out, because I know and you know, you're going to use the money for something else, you know, when it comes up.
I don't live in Southampton, but since I took over the programs and services, the first time I walked into that bathroom, there was black mold 12
I know
inches
that.
up
I remember that.
and
Yeah,
other
I
things
agree
floating
with
in
that.
the walls. And I think for at least 8
Also,
years, yes.
This is just the fence.
I understand that, but there's been, that I believe that all the residents of Century Village should be upgraded to what all the other pools look like. Now, they may be happy with that fence, I mean, having gone to the Dorchester fence, that was also on the chopping block for 6 years, and see how nice that looks, I think the residents would be happy to see that an improvement on that, and along with redoing the bathrooms and the roof and everything else, I think, I think it would make the place look nicer. You know, that's my opinion.
Once again, I said, is this beautification or is this necessary?
Just
John has.
Go ahead, John.
Just a comment, 8 years for yours, 12 years for hers, I think it was 4 years for ours. I agree, we ought to leave it in the budget, but I'll second his motion.
If you don't have to second, it can just die.
Okay, but I'll second your thing, so we can take a vote. I just don't agree with it.
Seconded for purposes of discussion.
Right.
Okay.
Would you like the committee to vote on it, David?
No.
No, he said no.
Okay, I
So
withdraw
would you
my,
rescind your,
I withdraw my motion.
okay. So there was a motion made, but no second on it, so we move on. Any other discussion on the budget?
I made the motion to accept.
Okay, then there was a second.
Second.
All right, everybody seconded that motion. It was a mistake, it's a $14 increase. You guys still approve it? All right,
I make a motion that we adjourn then.
all right,
Oh, first we gotta vote on the budget.
we need to vote on the budget.
I thought we- okay.
Bolt for the doors.
Well, we're waiting for our recording secretary to do double duty.
Corresponding secretary.
I understand that. Our corresponding secretary to do double duty.
Where is the correspondence?
Stated in
Monica, you don't have to bite your nails.
Now we're gonna vote on it.
Is this the quick?
Look, I came here today fully expecting to leave here and have to make more changes.
No,
Is this the quickest season that we've ever done this in years?
It is.
I remember 10 years at least 3
Okay, let's vote.
meetings. Yes.
Okay, roll call, sir.
Motion to approve the budget for 2025. Motion by John Gregg, second by Patricia Caputo. Joyce Reese,
Yes.
Bobby Levin,
Yes.
John Hess,
John,
John Gregg,
I'm for it.
John Baker,
David Fornes,
Yes.
Maureen DeViguer,
Yes.
Ruth Dries,
Yes.
David Boas, yes. Jerry Sutowski, Joanne Robinson,
Down here, yes.
Stuart Richland,
Yes.
Fausto Fabro,
Yes.
Dominic Garnagia,
Yes.
Kelly Jensen, Patricia Caputo.
yes.
Let me double check my figures. I don't want to make another mistake.
David, did you say WPRF budget, to be clear?
I will add that.
Just to be clear, somebody might question which budget.
That's true. I wouldn't know who that would be. Motion carries.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, everybody, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Monica.
My pleasure.
Dan wants to sing for us. Go, Dan.
Come on, Dan, let's hear it. I didn't know you would have that talent.
I was, all kind of chorus, you know.
Just on the record, everybody, now that this budget is passed, the UCO budget is voted on at the next delegate assembly. Please make sure, if you're a delegate, to be there, and if you're not going to be there, ask an alternate to be there.
Yeah, but it's the
Okay?
second,
Thank you.
it's the second day for Johnny, right? That's wrong.
You got a big one.
When, tomorrow.
I'm coming anyway. First of all, I don't, like when they celebrated it, all so the first day, yeah, 2 days. Okay, so the coupons go again. I'm just. That's amazing.
I thought today was like one comes out, get one free.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
David.